Children, today we are going to read the third chapter in your textbook, that is Robinson Crusoe. Open page number 35. This extract is written from the book Robinson Crusoe. There is a book called Robinson Crusoe and it is written by Daniel Defoe. He is a great author, and there is a book in this name, Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe is the name of a book by Daniel Defoe. He has written this book. And Daniel Defoe was born in 1660. His father was a butcher, and Daniel Defoe worked at a number of trades before he started to write at the age of 40. So he started writing books at the age of 40. But before that, he worked at a number of trades. He wrote poems and occasionally wrote criticisms of the government. Sometimes he was sent to prison. When he was nearly 60, he wrote the story of Robinson Crusoe. So he wrote this book at the age of 60. It was a great success and has been popular with children ever since. It is the first great English novel. In this short piece from the book, Robinson Crusoe tells us how he became shipwrecked. Underline the word shipwrecked. Shipwrecked means destruction of a ship. So, in an accident, if the ship is destroyed, but the crew members who are there in the ship, they saved themselves or they are escaped. So that is called shipwreck. So the ship is only destroyed, but not the crew members. They are not. They escape themselves and they are saved. So in this chapter, we'll come to know that Robinson Crusoe, he was going to a voyage, and he met with an accident. What was the accident? We'll come to know. We started off on our voyage in good weather, although it was very hot. So when they are going to a voyage inside the sea, they should see the weather conditions. They see the weather conditions previously, and then only they plan to move on. They plan their journey. They start their journey. So he's saying that when they started their journey, the weather was very good and it was very, very hot. After about 12 days, however, a violent tornado came from the north. Children, underline the word tornado here. Tornado means it's sort of rotating winds having approaching. It's like a kind, the shape will be like a funnel shaped. So they are funnel shaped winds rotating inside the sea. That is called violent tornado, came from the north. So when they were inside the sea, they saw a violent tornado from the north side. The waves rose high. The skies were black and the wind howled through the sails. Underline the word howled. Howl means making loud sound. Howling sound. Don't make howling sound, we say. So that is called howl. So making loud sound. So the sound of the wind started howling. The waves rose very high. So they got afraid, seeing as they were inside the sea, and they saw that from one side there is a tornado, then waves, are very big waves. The skies become completely black, and the sound of the wind they could hear, and it was very, very scary. 2 members of the crew were washed overboard. So 2 members of the crew were already washed overboard. And after a day or two, the ship began to leak. So after 1 or 2 days, the ship started leaking. So water came inside. We changed our course and drove out of the hurricane. But the next day, a second terrible storm attacked us. So then when the water started leaking, the ship started leaking, they thought of changing the direction because the hurricane, they could see the tornado, and they thought that some accident might happen, and then they thought of changing their direction. So they changed their course and drove out of the hurricane. They started moving away from the hurricane. But the next day again, a terrible storm attacked us. So they were again attacked by a terrible storm. We could see the shore of some unknown land, but the sea was very rough. The rain dashed down, and we were afraid to approach close to the land. But when they started moving away from the hurricane, still they were attacked by a storm. But after some time, they could see from the far, they could see the shore of some unknown land. They didn't know that which part of the earth it is, but they could see some shore. Then they were bit relaxed. The sea was very rough. The rain dashed down, so it started raining heavily. And even if they could see the land, they were still afraid that we could reach that place or not. They tried hard to reach to that place, to that land. Our only hope was to clamber. Children, underline the word clamber here. Clamber means to move, shift to a small boat, to climb into a small boat. Here, climb into a small boat. They wanted from a big ship, they just wanted to move to a small boat and try to row to the shore. So they were having small boat in their ships. Children, when they go, people go for long voyage, they keep these things ready with them. They keep the small boats because it is easy to move, to row a small boat than such a big ship. So it was ready with them. So they just moved to the small boat and tried to row to the shore. So they tried moving near the shore. 4 of us managed to get the boat into the sea and we jumped into it. So 4 of them managed to jump to the boat and they started moving. We rowed with all our might, but the waves were like mountains. So they had put all their strength to reach the shore with the small boat, but the waves were like mountains. It was very, very big waves. We struggled on, but at last a gigantic wave, greater than all the others, hurried our little boat into the air and it sank beneath us. But when they started moving, they were again hit by a gigantic wave, that is a very, very big wave, greater than all the others, hurried our little boat, and then it was hurled by a gigantic boat. They were again hit by a gigantic boat, and then the boat sank into the water. Then the boat just went inside the water and they started escaping themselves. I'm a good swimmer, and for an hour and a half I battled in that stormy sea. So he is saying that yes, I'm a good swimmer, but still I had to battle for 1.5 hours in that stormy sea to escape myself. As I caught sight of the coast, a huge wave could lift me up and carry me out of the sea again. So he was trying hard to swim and reach the shore. Again and again I tried to reach the shore. Again and again I was thrown away by the raging seas. At last I was hurled towards the shore and fell down exhausted on the sand. So he tried hard, but with the waves, finally he could reach the sand. He could reach the shore. Children will read the rest of the chapter in the next class.